Hey y'all, it's Coach K, and I want to welcome you to Life Lessons with Coach K. Throughout the month of April, we're going to be discussing how to navigate in the wilderness. Last week, we discussed why the wilderness is important, and this week, we're diving into identifying when you're being called into the wilderness. So, today, I want to pose the question: how do you know when you're being called into the wilderness? We have many different seasons that we kind of like weed through. Sometimes we're like extremely happy and thriving. Sometimes we're hurting. Sometimes we're coasting. But then there's this crazy little season where it's like, I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm just, out here, just, just out here. And it makes us feel like we're alone. It makes us feel like, I know something is different. I know a shift is happening. I just can't put my finger on what's wrong or what the deal is. Like, why do I feel so different? And why do I feel like something has changed? And so I want to let you know that if you ever have a moment where you feel like um, something is just a little bit off and you can't understand why it's like that, you're possibly being primed to come into a transition season. And we all know that wherever there's a transition season, there's a wilderness waiting right behind it. So, I want to give you a few ways to identify if you're being called into the wilderness or some indicators that you may be possibly being called into the wilderness. So, one of them would be literally feeling unsettled or uncomfortable. Sometimes we're really routine or we do things in a certain way or we're comfortable. So, God will kind of disrupt that a little bit at times just to make sure we stay on our toes and to get our attention. Or a little bit of being shooketh is a good thing so that he can get your attention. Another way that he may be trying to get your attention is you have this feeling in your heart that you want more. There's a desire for more, but you're not really sure what it is you want, but you know that you're feeling like I want more and I'm not content with where I am, and that's okay. A lot of people go through that phase where it's like, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this job for about 10 years or whatever, or you've been in a space for a very long time. So he will shake that up too and make you feel like, oh, this ain't enough for me. At times we wake up and we just feel like what we're doing is not adequate enough for us anymore. It's just not working for you anymore. And that's completely okay as well. Another indicator could be that you start having these big dreams or you start having these big visions that kind of scare you because they require so much intentionality or they require you to be, courageous. And a lot of times these are dreams are things that you thought of years ago, but you got rid of them or you gave up on them because they were so hard to accomplish. These are just a few of the things that you may be feeling. But I want you to know that whenever you have these feelings, please do not suppress them. It is okay to want more. It is okay to be in a space where you feel like there's something happening and I'm not sure what it is, but there's something happening. And I want you to know that whenever God is giving you these indicators, it just means that He really is trying to call you. He's trying to get your attention. He's trying to get your wheels turning so that you can get moving. A lot of people suppress the feelings because they feel like it makes them look like they're not grateful for what they have. When in reality, you're grateful for what you have, and that's okay. It's okay to want more. God is a very generous God. He wants us to do way more than what we're doing. Like, He has a plan for us, and we may not always see ourselves the way that God sees us. So we kind of limit our capabilities based on our circumstances and the things that are around us. When in reality, God is looking at us like the beings that He created us to be. So He sees us 10 years from now. We're looking at right now, we're looking at our circumstances right now, how the money is not in the account, and how are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? But God is like, I'm the who. I got you. And I'm the one who's going to help you get to that level and get to that space. But whenever God is calling you, or whenever you feel that draw, I need you to lean into it and I need you to willingly walk into the wilderness with Him. The reason why the wilderness is so important is because that's where we go to get our game plan. That's where we go to get our provision, our blueprints. Like, that's where we go to get that one-on-one time with God. Even Jesus had to go to God. Like, in the scripture, He says, I can't do anything without God. Like, I'm gonna read the scripture real quick. Okay, so in John 5:19 through 21, Jesus says, I tell you the truth, the Son can do nothing by himself. He does only what he sees the Father doing. Whatever the Father does, the Son does. For the Father loves the Son and shows him everything he is doing. In fact, the Father will show him how to do even greater works than healing this man. then you will truly be astonished. For just as the Father gives life to those who he raises from the dead, so the Son gives life to anyone he wants. Jesus literally had to go through God for everything. He literally fed him the words. He literally gave him the directions. He gave him the strength and the courage to do everything that he's doing. He called Jesus out. Jesus talked to him. He gave him time. He made sure that he was in alignment with his Father's word at all times, because Jesus was about kingdom business at all times. So whenever you're approached with a wilderness season, or you feel like God is calling you out to the wilderness, please don't be afraid to lean into it. It's really him just trying to get some one-on-one time with you to really equip you and prepare you for what's to come, and really show you that, you're capable of much more. And I have a bigger plan for you, but it requires responsibility. It requires accountability. It requires sacrifice. It requires your yes. And if you don't give him your yes, and you continuously like put it off and run from it, you're only prolonging your waiting season. You're only prolonging the time that you're going to be in this situation that you're in. Like, our lifestyle is supposed to be a reflection of what God had put in his will for us. And a lot of times we're living beneath the will of God because we're not willing to surrender to his will. And so it's only hurting you. And I know that it's hard work. There are things that you have to do. There's grieving process. There's things stripped from you in the wilderness. But going through that process really like gets you in a space where you are able to handle anything that comes your way. It gives you the strength to sustain. It gives you the strength and the understanding of how to operate. You're going to get instructions and provision that will help you bypass setbacks and pitfalls. A lot of times we fall into those things because we're going at life alone when we were built to work together and we were built to be in community. So, y'all, if I could give you any advice, I want to encourage you to lean into whatever God is calling you to do. I know it's scary. I know that it's new. I know that it can be very scary to do something that has never been done before, or to be the first to do something. But know that if God is calling you, he will provide for you. He will give you the provision. He will give you the steps. But you have to trust him, and you have to give him your yes first. So just know that whenever you feel like there's darkness, like when you feel like you don't understand what's going on or you don't have the answers, that is a key indicator that you are being called into the wilderness. And like my favorite artist, Bruno Mars, says, don't fight the feeling, invite the feeling. I need you to invite that feeling. I need you to be willing to just go walk with God, talk with him, spend that time with him, and get to know what the plan is so you can execute on the outside and be able to shine. The things that you do in the dark are the very things that you'll be able to do on the platforms that God gives you in the light. But if you don't walk through that darkness with him, and you don't get cultivated and get equipped with the skill sets that you need, when you get on that big stage, you're going to feel inadequate. You're going to feel like you are an imposter, and you're going to feel like you don't have what you need because you're standing alone. But when you got God behind you, it doesn't matter what skill sets you don't have, because whatever you need, he can provide. So I hope that this helps you to understand whenever you're being called into the wilderness. I hope that this helps you to be willing and open to dive into it willingly, and don't be afraid of it. You were built for more. So know that God has you covered, but you got to give him your yes, and you got to walk with him. And that requires you to do better and do more. Just like Luke 12:47-48 says, a servant who knows what the master wants but isn't prepared and doesn't carry out those instructions will be severely punished. But someone who does not know and then does something wrong will only be punished lightly. When someone has been given much, much will be required in return. And when someone is entrusted with much, even more will be required. So know that yes, you getting more does require more, but you have God with you. He's going to continuously give you the information that you need. He's going to walk with you throughout this thing called life. And him calling you to the wilderness is not a one-time thing. It's a reoccurring act. So you don't have to worry about not being able to deliver, because as long as you stay under him, stay connected to him, you continue to seek him for wisdom and understanding, you will be just fine. All right, y'all. Until next time, stay focused, trust God, and respect the process. I'm Coach K. Be sure to check out our blog and our video every week. We drop a new life lesson every Monday. And then also check out Level Up with Coach K podcast on Wednesdays. We drop a new episode every week. And we have so many other things going on. So y'all be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, do it all so that we can be able to continue to grow and that these messages can get to people who are transitioning and trying to do well. I will talk to y'all later. All right, bye.